giving up their habits. And for that, they have to provide the best possible environment for the child. The child should be given such opportunities which will help him mold his personality in a better way. At the time of working or at the time, child will not realize what effect it will have in the future. But it is the adults who are responsible for this. They know how it will affect the child. And we have to always develop the positive habits in the child. There are different ways, different means of doing it, but simple thing is that you give quality time and attention to the child at that stage. And I will tell you some of the personality of the child, and the personality is something which you can adopt or which you can change. It is not fixed. So habits are developing with time, and the person who is responsible for the child's habits are the teachers and the parents. They will both help the child develop good habits. As you know, habits are our own way of working. And in one of the examples given in the books was that there was a girl named Maria. After her office, she wanted to have coffee. So instead of going home and making, she went to the coffee shop and she bought a cup, she sat there, she sipped slowly and she relaxed. Next day again, there was a desire to go to that shop. So it became a habit. And after some days, she met a friend and a friend said, come with me, I'll make coffee for you at home. Although she went, but she was not so relaxed. She did not enjoy it because it was against her habit. So habit is something you develop on your own self. And these habits can be changed. You can help the child develop good habits like washing his hands before the meals. If you do it and you ask the child to come with you, to say the words of thanks before starting and after ending. If we do it, child will develop these habits. Because these habits will be carried for a lifetime, they influence the personality, and they will be the molds where the child is forming his personality. Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum everyone. How are you all? Let's have a competition of 20 minutes of listening to Mrs. Asma name intently, carefully. Right? Are you with me all? So my topic that has been given to me is the role of a teacher. And why is it important to know the psyche of the child? And how can a teacher benefit the child by understanding her role and by learning about the psyche and its benefits? Right? 3 points we'll be talking about, and I tried not to talk much. I have a video clipping, very interesting, so that will also be an interesting one for you. But before starting, let me begin with a prayer which Dr. Maria Montessori had made. O Lord, help us to penetrate into the secret of child, so that we may know a child and we may love him and serve him better according to your laws of justice and follow your divine will. By Maria Montessori. हम Maria बोलते हैं ना, so basically when you hear internationally it is Maria, Dr. Maria Montessori. But we very fondly are very happy to call her Maria Montessori. So that feels a very like something close to your heart. So Dr. Maria Montessori, that was the prayer. And then let's think for a second, what would it be like if there were no teachers? How would you feel if there are no teachers? Hooray! No homework, no long hours of the school, no tests, no examinations. if there are no teachers, if I had no teacher in my life, if you had no teachers in your life, so you would not have come this far. So we need teachers. So most of the things that I'll be talking, you know it, and you can figure it out. You can think, you can go back into your childhood, and you can remember, you can categorize the teachers, the good teachers and not the good teachers. Good teachers have made an impact on you, they have impressed you, they have inspired you. But not the very good teachers, they were in a disconnect with you. They did not connect with you, they did not share their responsibility of connecting herself to you. So technically speaking, the first role of the teacher is to feel the responsibility of connecting herself to her students. I want to connect with you, but do you want to connect with me? 20 minutes. Something that you already know, but we need to revisit it. Just to understand, like Sir Shami was telling, that whenever a teacher thinks very seriously, she thinks that she is the chosen one. But when it comes to you as the students, seriously when you're thinking, you will think that you are the chosen one. Because you are somewhere where you can learn. Where you can learn something that you did not know. So it's not only the teacher, but the student as well, for the chosen ones. The students being the chosen one and the teachers being the chosen one. Now, stepping away from the serious note, there are different things that we can think of. Like when you think of becoming a teacher, so people say, oh, you're going to become a teacher. And then we have a gentleman, Henry Dye, he says, there you are, the worst paid and the most rewarded of vocations. Like teachers are the worst paid in some scenarios, but not in all scenarios, but best rewarded. What is that reward? You feel satisfied. At the end of the day, you feel that you have achieved something, you have transferred something, you have imparted some knowledge to your students. So you may be having a lesser figure of your salary, but the award, the satisfaction that you feel at the end of the day, yes, my students have learned something, I was worth something, I've inspired my students. So the role of a teacher could be a role model, a facilitator, a spiritual parent, and all those frilly and beautiful titles that you can think of. Thank you so much. You can think of it. Your mother is a teacher. How, on such a high position you keep her, you think so highly of her. Yes, she is your mother, she is your teacher. So not only the teachers, like the paid ones, the paid people who have taken teaching as a profession, but your mothers, your fathers, your brothers, sisters, your neighbors, we all are teaching each other. So, when we talk typically about a teacher, there are varied roles. A teacher could be humorous. A teacher could be a lawyer, a doctor, a nurse. So different roles, you can think of it. I do not have to tell you, I do not have to make a list to tell you that this is the role of a teacher. Now when you hop on to the second point of the lecture, which says why is it important to understand the psyche of the child. See, when you don't understand something, to work, he has to make you happy. Then he'll crave for the appreciation. Only I think that is the element that we as Montessorians do not encourage, that punishment and reward element. Now, psyche, why is it important to understand the psyche? Because you understand how the child develops physically and mentally. And what is going on when the child is developing mentally and physically. You learn, if he is passing through the sensitive period of order, and if there is something that is bothering him, the child is going to throw tantrums. So instead of providing him something, you will think for the reason and then you'll try to eliminate that point that is irritating the child. So you can interact with the children better and then you can understand the children better. So, and then finally, when you know all this, when you're equipped with all this, you are better able to help the child in his physical and mental development. Role of a teacher, there are varied roles. Understanding the psyche of the child, it is very important. Then only you can help the child to grow physically and mentally as a balanced personality. And then I will not keep you with my lecture. I've got a short video clip and you watch it carefully and you try to sort out the points that I just made and make a note of it. It's the story of a teacher who took teaching as a profession, and when she entered into the classroom, what happened with her and how she changed herself. The teacher not only is changing the life of the child, but that child is acting upon the teacher. The child is telling the teacher that how she needs to change herself, how both of them need to come together on the same wavelength. When that coordination is there, then we have a better society. So actually there's some technical thing going on. Initially we were looking at the slides, but this video is has a running commentary also. And it's a very general, common, normal routine that we know. The only thing is, it will stay in your mind.
Friends who wanted to be teachers talked about what they wanted to do. Their faces seemed to light up as they talked about making the world a better place. However, the first year of teaching was not as enchanting as she had thought it would be. The first entries in her journal were usually brief. Sandy was too tired to write much at the end of the day. September 7th, teaching is harder than I thought it would be. October 1, I got my first teaching check today. Was it worth it? October 10. I can't change these kids' home lives. How can I expect them to do homework when there's often no support? November 8. I'm not sure I'm cut out to be a teacher. As she leafed through the pages on this lazy summer day, Sandy could see the faces of her 30 third graders. Paul sat right by her desk. Even that didn't stop his constant talking. But she had sent a note home every day to let his parents know. Sandy had worked hard at being consistent. Connie, cute as a button, never did one piece of homework. And Sandy had worked so hard to get her parents to help, but they wouldn't even return her phone calls. Sitting quietly, almost invisibly in the back of the room was Jane, wearing the same dress she had worn all week. Did she ever smile? Michael sat to the left of her desk, a sweet little boy. But when he read aloud, Sandy got impatient. He called so many words wrong. Sandy sat back and remembered how many times she had climbed frustrated into her car at the end of the school day, nearly crying tears of frustration. She tried so hard to be a good teacher, but it didn't seem as though she was making a difference of any kind, let alone a difference that would make the world a better place. But halfway through the diary, Sandy noticed that her entries had become longer. They focused less on her frustration and more on the kids themselves. Sandy began reading. January 10. Paul controlled his talking so well today that I sent a note to his parents telling them about his good behavior.
Teachers are themselves. This is a message for me and for all the would-be teachers. Like I said, there has to be a connection. So when there is a connection, a teacher would find out all this, and we can make this society a better place. Thank you very much.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum once again. Okay.
what should be the role of a school to ascertain that the growth and the development of a child is progressing positively. Now, who is responsible in the school? Who is the person to take care? Just the administration? You all, we all. Because you are running the school, you are helping the child, you are helping the management as well. So it is basically you and the directresses. Role of school in particular. Understanding the role of school in child development is vitally important. School provides a structured education and promotes a child's mental and psychological growth. Aside from learning academics, a child will also learn other important life skills such as teamwork, good manners, unity, sharing, responsibility. Now these aspects of a life you cannot teach the child at home. What is teamwork? What are good manners? No matter the parents are working very hard to develop good manners in the child, but when they are in the classroom, in the school environment, how to behave positively, how to wait for their turns, how to share things, how to be responsible when a task is given to them, all these positive things the child learns only in school when he is spending time in the class with his classmates. Children are like sponges that will absorb almost everything that is taught to them. By allowing them to learn in a school setting while they are young, they can be molded into good, responsible and hardworking individuals. The role of school in child development begins as early as preschool and continues through a child's life. You see, learning is a lifelong process. We, at any stage of our life, we cannot say that we have learned everything. We have mastered everything. That cannot be possible. So learning is a lifelong process and it starts as early as preschool. Even before entering the school, the child is learning because his mind works as a sponge. And the task of the sponge is to absorb water without knowing whether the water is dirty or clean. The same working is done with the child's mind. He absorbs everything from the environment and he learns everything from the environment as well. Right? Next please. Trained teachers' role in child's life. This is our role. The role which we have to play in the child's grooming, in developing him physically, mentally and spiritually. A trained teacher has a deeper sense of dignity of the child as a human being. Now in the schools you have trained teachers as well as ordinary teachers who are not trained. Most probably they are working as assistant teachers. So you will understand the dignity of the child more than an untrained person. Because you know the child's psychic needs, his sensitive periods, his absorbent mind period, and how the child is sensitive to one situation and at the other time that is suppresses and the other sensitive period takes its place. So you will provide all the opportunities in keeping in mind his physical, mental and spiritual needs. He may know, love and serve the child in accordance with the laws of the justice and following the holy will. And we all should pray this 10 times a day when we interact with the child. Thank you very much. Any questions? Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Assalamu alaikum, everybody. We're listening since morning. You all are listening since morning. And ma'am, where is my topic? The first page. Yes. When parents and teachers recognize children's intrinsic goodness and reflect it back to them, children naturally develop healthy self-images and positive patterns of growth. This is my topic. What do you think that in this relation, the connection of this topic, what the teacher and the parents do first? How comes teacher, the parent and the teacher, or the teacher and the parent, but parent is the first to whom the child meets first in this world, has to recognize their children. The first duty is this: the parents should recognize their children. This is what I am repeating again. We are just treating as we want to treat, as per our need, as per our desire, as per our wish. We feel that that baby is just a piece of a meat. We just wrap it with the beautiful clothes, with the beautiful dresses, try to make it princess or prince, but not understanding really that what really the need of the child, what really the demand of the child. We are dealing the child as per our interest. We fail at that time to understand the child deeply inside, that how he is asking us to deal. At the time when he really not move, he's even not able to speak. He cries or he laughs. These two languages he knows at that time, immediate after birth. He only able to smile or cry. Cry is the sign of pain. When he is smooth, calm, it means he is satisfied. Slowly and gradually, he can return in a form of smile the answer to you. But in initial stage, he even not able to smile, but he can cry. Cry is the point where you must come to know that he is suffering with something. We feel that he's crying because he's a child. There is nothing else to do by him. He's only going to be crying. So never bother about his crying. But whenever he's crying, you must have to recognize that why he is crying. Because if you leave him as it is in form of crying, that creates a lots of disturbance mentally and distract the personality. So this is the first duty of the parents, to recognize the child through whatever the behavior of his own. Second, please. We start blaming to the child upon his cry. We say that this child is a bad child. This child is an innocent, stubborn child. But as per this, within the devil, no, this is not. All children are born innocent and good. In this sense, our children are from heaven, and every child is unique and special. Yes, this is true, that the children are from heaven. Believe me, believe us, believe system, that children are from heaven. Even as because of Muslim, I can quote it, that Huzur sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that even anybody die in the period of childhood, he begs to Jannah. He will never send to dozakh. He will never ask any question. He will not give any answer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala upon his any act. He is simply angel and he is back to heaven. This is very important thing that you must have to realize it. That children are from heaven. And if they die during that childhood period, they're back to Jannah. Yes. Next, please. Blueprint. Within the developing mind, heart and the body of every child is the blueprint for the child's development. What you are doing, what you are saying, the child is catching effortlessly. As you all know that the child has an absorbent mind, and because of the power of the absorbent mind, and in the absorbent mind there are lots of sensitive periods, so there is no need for you to debate or explain to the child. Whatever you are doing, that automatically goes in the mind and registered there, and that builds the character of the child, so that what you are looking in the child, what he is doing, that is actually what you are, what you have done, what you are doing. We start punishing to the child upon his doing, upon his act. Upon his act. Actually, instead of blaming to the child, instead of pointing towards the child, you must look yourself that why he is doing that things, and whatever is he is doing, that is the blueprint of you people, that you are showing that what you are, but you feel bad because as you are a giant people, you are a great people, you feel within you that I am big, I can do it, and you cannot bear it, you cannot tolerate the child in the same situation, and for that you start scolding. And from very beginning, the conflict among the child and the parents and the adult starts, and that again gives a very bad stain to the character of the child. So you should understand very first in the recognition of the child that if he is doing anything which you don't like, instead of blaming, instead of criticizing, instead of punishing, you first search yourself. Where is the problem? Because problem is within you. You must have done something wrong. Right? Next, please. Yes. Put it down. Yes. Here we have two things, intrinsic and extrinsic. Look at that intrinsic, that is self-fulfillment, that is the first desire of the child. To become independent. He is in the conquest of independence. फतह की जंग लड़ रहा है वो फतह करना चाहता है. He wants to conquer अपने आप को, his own personality. For this, his motto is, want to be a god, if you want him to listen, you command. Do not demand. If you start demanding the child, whether in the Montessori environment or at home, in both the cases, they differ. They differ and they are not going to listen to you. To maintain control, give out. Don't spam. अगर आपने मारा, so that student is out of your hands. These 5 skills work to awaken our children. And at last I have